pushes them
Khartoum, in Sudan, in Mozambique, in Yemen, in Lebanon, in Israel, between Palestinians and the Israelis, all across the globe, despite fending off Third World War, the world still have not known peace.
I don't think the Third World War has been fended off. This thing going on in Russia, Ukraine, is teetering on that edge with the way Russians are reacting and the West is reacting.
And the Chinese
weighing in. And you hear what South Africa is saying they may pull out of the ICC because of they've been threatening to arrest Putin if he shows up for BRICS and things like that. So, look, it's a very fluid situation. Yeah. But let's come back home here, Judy. What was your reaction when you saw the fanfare that trailed the arrival of Asiwaju after the president-elect, rather, after so many days away from the country?
Well, I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I'm not surprised given the fact that he's the new kid on the block.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the new kid on the block. I'm sure if Buhari arrives from Ghana or Liberia went, you only see a handful of you know I was on the radio station, a sister radio station yesterday, and I was saying for Femi Adesina, for Malangaba Shehu, the phone will no longer ring.
Okay, did you read the accidental civil servant where Rufai said the phones went dead?
I'm even referring to Dr. Ruben Abatis.
I know, yeah, Dr. Abati also said the same thing.
The phone will no longer ring.
The phones went dead.
Now you will see pattern of migration into Aso Rock. It's now Asokoro, not Aso Rock. People are now milling. In fact, one newspaper reported that some people are now sleeping in their cars.
Yeah, I think I saw that
report. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But the Aso Rock now, you see the visitors to Aso Rock thinning out.
Thin out.
Hey,
maybe we should go and be sleeping in our cars in Asokoro as well.
By the grace of
God, we are too much for that.
By the grace
so it's not all about what you eat. It's not about wanting positions.
It's about largesse. It's about opportunities. It's about our politics is pork barrel politics, where you dispense favor, influence, and it's even. I appreciate the fact that Asiwaju saw the need for him to go for 34 days rest. If he had been in the country, the situation would have been worse for him. Because now, every problem of APC will be brought to his doorstep. The politics of who leads the National Assembly is on his... the issue around, different, even governors, will now be beholden to him and all of that. So the man also the opposition fights too, and all the attacks and barbs and the spears they are throwing at him. You see now somebody there is a parable in my part of the world. If the owner of the body said it's okay, and you say, so sorry, were you able to sleep well? Are you okay? Are you not having a headache? Why are you using Panadol for somebody else's headache?
It's a Nigerian style.
The man said, I'm okay. You are saying, it's on the charge, or whatever they are saying.
Yeah, some people are saying there's a pipe.
Yes, right. He has a pipe that, somebody said he has a charging port. Whatever. Look, even assuming that is true, let's remember what happened to Kanu Wako in his early playing days when he had that heart problem. People wrote him off.
They did.
People, in fact, there are insinuations to the effect that Kanu is using battery as to breathe. Whereas you could see that that's a young lad. I'm not sure he was up to 23, 22 about that time. He had this
kind of about 23, 24 at that time.
He had this surgery for a life-threatening heart challenge, which is the reason why I set up Kanu Heart Foundation after. But would you have expected a young athletic chap to have that kind of ailment? People can be sick of whatever, and I've told people these are the mock Asiwaju during the primaries. You know the popular song Baba we know where is it. Now you sang those songs, the man still won. Now you are saying, oh, he went for medicals, he didn't go to rest. What is your own problem? You are not his doctor.
I discovered that the attacks are more personal. What I would have expected is people digging up things about Asiwaju. I would have preferred them to dig up, say he was stealing money when he was governor of Lagos State and things like that. He was siphoning money. Those are the things that
they said he has done. When you talk about, they said these are personality attacks. They said all manner of things.
I think people need to understand that personality attacks and impugning somebody's integrity and bringing about to show that he's
many of them
to do this job. I don't know, but
those who are tweeting those rubbish may end up facing libel suits, because when you go personal with somebody, he has a right to defend himself. But what I will advise Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to take his personal security serious. I saw the breach of protocols at the airport and even at his residence when he came 2 days ago. He should not underrate enemy of progress. The fact that he wants to appear populist, was asking people to come in to his residence, he needs to know it's not a national property.
Okay.
So personal security should be taken very seriously. By the grace of God, nothing bad will happen to him. We pray for his good health. We pray for success of his administration. Because what people need to understand is what is going on across the globe. Look, out of hatred for Omar al-Bashir, they protested, they got him out of the way. Now, the center has now held in Sudan. The military general that pushed him out could not agree among themselves on a transition table. Now, two factions have caused another heartache for Africa, that today many countries around the globe are now evacuating their nationals. If by the grace of God that will not happen in Nigeria, just imagine 200 million people, and Sudan is the third largest country in Nigeria, in Africa, third most populous country in Africa. That has already created refugee problem, IDP problem. And you know, one medical doctor was shot, whether late yesterday or early this morning, I was watching on CNN, going to save life, going to perform and carry out dialysis on a patient, and the rebels accosted him and killed him. That is what war brings to a nation. We should not allow Nigerian situation to degenerate into a war. We cannot have another civil war on our hands.
All right, Jide, we need to get back on track. I was watching a very senior lawyer, I don't want to call his name, saying that it is wrong for you to challenge the outcome of an election with the proper procedure. You go to court, you go to the tribunal, and then you're still protesting on the streets. You're still attacking people and all of that. And I believe that the opposition parties need to understand that. You've taken your case. It's like you want to intimidate the judiciary as well, that the only result you want is the one that favors you. So let's learn to respect the laws of our country. You've taken, and you have that right. So let's wait for that outcome rather than still throwing barbs, throwing stones. And this, we are going to come back to this issue in another angle. But Jide, I was at the bank yesterday. Was it the day before yesterday or yesterday, to withdraw some money. And Jide, as I put my card in the ATM machine, Naira notes spilled out, the little money I had there. And I just checked and I discovered that it was the same old Naira notes that we had before, Jide. And here we are in this country. Some months ago, late last year, the Central Bank of Nigeria told us, and the president backed it up, that they were going to switch to new Naira notes. And it will end by January, that old Naira notes will be out of circulation by January 31. Jide, I've been watching through the media and I've not seen anybody talk about it. That during that Naira change, Jide, banks were burned, banks were vandalized, bank workers were beaten, Some, I don't know whether any of them died, but people died. Nigerians died. The CBN said the old Naira notes have been withdrawn from the circulation and have been destroyed. That we don't have them, Jide. People died. The economy has shrunk. Even till now, it's yet to recover. And today, Jide, we are using the same old Naira notes and nobody is being held to account. Nigerians are just walking along the streets, moving on. The media, radio, television station, newspapers, nobody is talking about it, Jide. We're just going on as if it is normal that after people died, after the economy shrunk, after we suffered, the CBN still brings back the old. Why did they start the new Naira policy in the first place? Was it just to kill us, punish us, and then come back here? The president and the CBN governor should be telling us stories, Jide. I don't know how you react to this issue because it hurts me when I see old Naira notes is what we are using. So why did we kill each other in the space of 2 or 3 months or thereabouts because of new Naira notes?
Just don't burst your vein, my brother. This is Nigeria.
Okay.
This is Nigeria where anything goes. But wait, we are counting down to Buhari's exit, isn't it? Today is 26, and 32 days left. This government will cease to exist. I'm sure Godwin Emefiele will have questions to answer under the incoming administration. Because obviously it seems, or it will seem, like the president and the CBN governor just targeted 2023 election in carrying out this policy, which was started October 26 in that statement, press statement, and until March 8 when the Supreme Court gave the final judgment, which says that the old and the new should circulate simultaneously.
Okay.
You are not the only one that's wondering what's happening to the new Naira note. And obviously, it will look like we will not, given the what is going on, it will seem like we will not be able to, at this rate, we might not be able to meet the December 31st, 2023 deadline.
Yeah.
Because if, as we approach the middle of the year, the new Naira note is as scarce as essential commodity of Buhari in 1983, when we have to go queue for
milk and
sugar, rice. Now, in Yoruba, we say it's as scarce as the masquerade sheet. You don't see the masquerade, defecated.
Okay.
So they say it's as scarce as the masquerade sheet. That's what it has come to. In the last 1 month or thereabout, after the Supreme Court decision and another week of delay before the central bank now said issue the guideline, issue the what's it called, circular to money deposit bank that they can now be dispensing old Naira notes. Before then, everybody was looking for the new currencies, including myself. Many of us have to rely on online transactions, and as I tell you now, many bank customers have not been able to get their failed transactions resolved. But the good news in all of this bad economic climate is that at least we now have the old Naira notes. We are with our old Naira note.
Okay.
Now the POS operators are back. In my neck of wood where I live, we don't even have one single bank. So the POS has been our savior when we need cash. And my experience in the last 3-4 weeks is that you can now exchange the commission on 5,000 withdrawal is 200 naira, on 10,000 is 400 naira. So it's doubled, but it's better than having to pay 3,000 on 10,000 naira as we had before the Supreme Court
intervention. Okay.
At least up throughout February, January, and half of March. That was our experience, where if you want to withdraw cash from any of the point of sales operators, you are charged 3,000, 4,000 on withdrawal of 10,000. But now the situation has been brought to barest minimum. It's now 200 naira charge on 5,000 naira withdrawal and 400 naira on 10,000 naira withdrawal, which is why people are not complaining. But you have raised a very pertinent question. What has happened to the new 1,000, new 500, new 200? Why is it now very scarce that it's making people to believe this may have even been withdrawn from circulation? And that's why financial correspondence needs to ask the CBN governor this question, because the CBN said, and I also listened to President Buhari said, that the new currency, some people will mischievously call it new colored because it will seem like it was the color that changed. New colored currency is being printed in Nigeria, so it's not printed abroad. So Nigeria Printing and Minting is responsible. At some point, we were told that because of backlog of other works,
other jobs
that
NSNPM,
because I believe that NSNPM was involved in printing of sensitive election materials like ballot papers, result sheet, because I think for 2023 election, INEC decided to patronize local printing firms, including the Printing and Minting. Perhaps maybe that's why the delay in printing new currency, because it's just one institution, they don't have subsidiary. So, but now that the elections have been concluded on April 15, I want to see significant improvement in the printing and circulation of the new currency, because if we don't start now, the likelihood of meeting that December 31 deadline.
This issue you are raising is a different issue. Yes, I agree with you that if they don't start now, how they are going to succeed. But Jide, it's clear that the CBN did not have enough new notes. Why did they then want to kill us? Why did they let people to die? That is my question. If the CBN knew it didn't have enough new notes, because we don't even see the new notes now, why did they allow Nigerians to die? To set people were setting fire to banks.
If I would,
the economy has shrunk, and the National Assembly is not questioning them why they did that, and Nigerians themselves are just going as if it is normal. It now seems to me, Jide, that it's only when our religion, our tribe, or our political party is cheated that Nigerians know that they should be asking their leaders questions. Because if it were religion now or ethnic something, and look at Obi and the Atiku people, they are still fighting. These are the issues where we should hold government accountable. That Nigerians died and we can't see the new notes that they died for.
14 people, by my own records, 14 people died across this country over the issue of the newly redesigned Naira notes. From my last...
Very good. 14 Nigerians. Okay.
And several banks were touched, vandalized, destroyed, people molested, and that's the one you can document. What about people who could not access drugs? What about people whose ailment, those who have heart attack, heart failure, people who were not diabetic or who are not hypertensive before, but because of the situation they went through, have become terminally sick because of lack of access. There was the case, one among the 14 people that died was a staff of Lagos State University, okay, who went to the banking or to queue for withdrawal of 5,000 naira. He slumped while he was waiting.
Oh no!
There was this broadcaster in Ibadan who was working with Fresh FM, who had to trek from his house to office. On his way to office that fateful Saturday, he slumped and died. There was the case in Kano of a mother, a pregnant woman, whose husband paid the old naira notes. The hospital said they cannot take the old naira note. That is no longer.
And that is what we are.
Wait.
Oh,
that they cannot take. How much are we talking about? 8,900, less than 9,000 naira. Now the man made a online transfer to the pharmacy to be able to access the drug they were going to administer on his wife, who was in labor. The pharmacist purportedly, it does happen in Kano, purportedly said they have not received the alert, and as such the drugs cannot be given to the man. It was while all of these shenanigans was going on that the pregnant woman died. That was the Kano. Now several banks, if you go to Shagamu today, no fewer than 3 banks were destroyed in Shagamu as a result of protest over the
new notes,
even in Benin and several other places. So you now ask yourself, from January to March we went through hell. So from my own reading, it seems that the target of this newly redesigned naira note was politician. And if you read the text of Mr. President's address on February 16th, Sunday, it did say part of the dividends of the redesigned naira notes is that it will stop vote buying. And I asked, did it actually stop vote buying? People still bought votes. People collected bank details of voters and made transfer to them at subsequent dates. People purchased and procured souvenirs and gifts and gave out. So it didn't actually, because when you look at the number of people that EFCC arrested, even during the April 15 supplementary election.
Okay, in Adamawa.
In Kebbi, in Adamawa, in all the 12 or 24 states we had down here, there were still reported cases of vote buying. So it did not actually stop people or the politicians, desperate politicians, from buying votes. So what did we achieve with the newly redesigned? And when I was on Channels TV last Friday, after the president sought forgiveness of Nigerians for some of his policies and decisions, I raised that issue with Seun Okinbaloye that, look, there are error of the mind, there are error of the heart. On this newly redesigned naira, can we say the president did not know or was misled or just deliberately did what he did? Because if he could flout Supreme Court decision that said that old and new naira notes should continue to circulate until the determination of the case, that is no longer something that was done out of ignorance. So, but
it was an overt act.
It was the deliberate act.
Okay.
So, the president last Friday, after the Salah message, while they paid him Salah visit, said Nigerians should forgive him. And I said, well, I as a person have forgiven Mr. President, but what about those who lost loved ones while that old shenanigans happened?
What's going on?
What about people who have lost their businesses as of today?
Did the businesses collapsed?
As of today, if only we are very good in statistics and documentation, we will have known that millions of jobs were lost. Micro, small and medium enterprises, almost millions of such were wiped out. Because I saw footages of people who are selling fruit, people who are selling plantain, people who are into
selling granules,
whose wares just got rotten because they do not have bank account and people do not have cash to purchase from there. And you know these are perishable goods. Then the POS operators across the country were put out of business for about 3 months. Many of them were breadwinners of their families from the little commissions that they are getting. So micro, small and medium enterprises really suffered. Many of them collapsed. Many of them are tottering while this naira redesign exercise went on. But like I said, the good news is that at least we can access the old ones and is still being accepted across the country.
We are talking about accountability, because the president and the CBN governor, they have questions to answer. After Nigerians die, people suffer, businesses collapse, and we are back. You just said it. The man paid. The other man you said whose wife died in Kano, he paid with this current non we are still using.
Yes.
So why did his wife die now? She died for nothing with the new child in her womb. So Jide, this is the question. This is how people develop their country and their democracy. They ask questions. They challenge the leaders. But I discovered that all Nigerians are quiet. So long as we can get the money to spend now, let's move on. All they want is that Obi should be the president-elect or Atiku should be the president-elect. That is not the issue. Whoever is the president or the president-elect, Nigerians must stand up to fight for the correct things. That is how Nigeria will grow. And that's what we're saying, that Nigerians need to be protesting against the president and the CBN governor now for what they did. So what do we do now to them?
I don't agree that Nigeria should be on the street protesting.
So they should just die.
Listen, what the ball is in the court of lawyers.
Okay.
Nigeria Bar Association can go to court to press charges against the central bank for the period or for the ineptitude and all of the things, collateral damage that they were made to suffer, and the family of the deceased can also go. If it were to be in US, many people have been in court against CBN for this very harsh economic policy, because the whole thing was operated or was implemented without human face. It was implemented without human face. The old currencies were withdrawn from circulation. The new ones were not supplied in good quantity. At the end of the day, many of us lick our wounds and just shook it off. And you can just see the level of indebtedness many people have gotten themselves into to survive this very harsh cash crunch. So it's for me, it's about the lawyers can press charges, but not at this time will you encourage people to go on protest over issues that the final determination has been made by the Supreme Court.
But you don't have then the people hold their leaders accountable for wrong policies that are not well articulated before implementation.
Well, what I will expect even the media to do now,
because the media is silent.
To do editorials. They can do editorials. They can do editorials. As we are discussing it, I believe that somebody somewhere in the central bank is listening to us. Peradventure, the CBN governor is listening. That Nigerians are agitated about lack of the new currency, and there is a terminal date for these old ones that is being recirculated, which is December 31. And I would have expected that by now, substantial number of the printed banknotes that we will be spending should be the new one, so that it can be phased out. The old ones can be phased out, in a seamless manner. So once you deposit the old ones, you don't get it back, you get new one. By like you said, the ATM should be dispensing new notes, because almost all the banks have reconfigured their ATM to be dispensing. But the relief people just have is that at least whether it's old or new, I can get something to spend.
But you agree with me that if this were something to do with ethnicity and religion, Nigerians will react. So it's like only things to do with religion, ethnicity, and maybe their political party loses election to the ruling party that Nigerians react.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Nigerians reacted while that shenanigans lasted. Nigerians in their numbers, particularly in Southwest and South, they reacted, went on street protests. That's what led to the vandalization of many of the financial institutions, but in Benin, in Asaba, in Shagamu, in Lagos, in Abuja, a host of other places. In fact, in Oyo State, while the protesters were demonstrating, they even touched a police station. And you ask yourself, what's the nexus between the police station and the banks not making cash available? But people are just weary of protest.
Okay.
Because those who died now, the only way they will not die in vain is if their families could press charges against the authority, suing the federal government.
All right, Judy, let's just take a quick break there. Let's just take a quick break. And Judy is still going to be here. I really need to let Judy, let's discuss this issue, because it hurts me to hear that Nigerians will just suffer for nothing and will just go on as if nothing has happened. Just hold on there. It's still Listen FM 93.7. Stay with us.
Prayer is sponsored by the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
93.7 Citizen FM.
Let's talk about it on our favorite radio station.
We're more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Right, he's still on to Citizen FM at 93.7, reaching you from the center of the city here in Abuja. My name is Ernest, and of course, before that break, we're on the show Politics Now, where we're looking at the new Naira policy of the government and why the new Naira notes have disappeared from the streets, despite Nigerians losing their lives, losing their jobs, losing their businesses. Bankers suffered. I saw a banker woman who was maltreated. I mean, she was stopped on the road. They recognized her, removed her car tires. I mean, it was a terrible.
That feature, the video was from the son of a father who stripped himself naked in the banking hall.
Okay. So he was retaliating.
Yes, that the banker didn't prevent his dad from humiliating
himself in public. Okay, and so she was retaliating against a banker.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, all kinds of emotions were on that time, and we are back using the same old Naira notes, meaning they were available and were deliberately denied.
There was a misinformation then. I don't know. Maybe there was no official statement, but it was widely circulated in the social media that CBN had burnt.
And shredded, governor said so, and I think the president alluded to that too.
They have shredded and burnt the old Naira notes. But today we are now wiser that they didn't actually. Many of the old Naira notes never left the vault of the bank.
So what action should we take against the president and the governor of the CBN as citizens of Nigeria for this thing, this hardship, this problem, this death and pain that they caused for nothing?
People can go to court to press charges. I think that's just the honorable thing to do.
Okay.
And the media needs to take it up with the leadership.
There's a conspiracy of
no, wait.
People are talking politics. They
can ask the CBN governor or deputy why there is scarcity of the new Naira notes. That is it that it's been the new ones have been withdrawn from, because you need to go procedurally. I'm never an advocate of violent protest and all manner of, because these things have a way of backfiring.
Yeah, but citizens need to learn to hold their leaders to account.
You can hold their account. Look at SERAP, Socio-Economic Rights Accountability Project. Must have over 100 cases filed at the different courts. Okay. Even this matter, Sarah took the federal government and CBN to court.
Okay.
That it has no power.
Let me just quickly invite our listener to, in case any of them is interested in joining us, please, you can call us and be a part of this show. 0903 222 9797. 0903 222 9797. Let's hear, if you're as hot as I am, that despite punishing us all these months we suffered, the old Naira is still back in circulation in full force without us seeing the new one that CBN governor told us is the new kid on the block. We can't see it. 0818 2222205. You can call us on either of those numbers and air your views on this show as we talk now. 0903 222 9797. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Kennedy.
Okay, your name is Kennedy. What part of town are you calling from, please?
Yes, I'm calling from Cairo.
Okay, from Cairo. Please go ahead with your comments.
Thank you. Like you were just talking, I felt like not being proud of, my own country. Because if CBN boss, Mr. Emefere Godwin, could open his mouth and tell us that the old Naira notes were burnt, they were destroyed. Now, where did we got these old Naira notes now? The ones we are using, where did we get them?
I don't know, my brother. I don't know.
Also remember, don't forget, if the money that Central Bank decide to mention the money they use in these redesigned notes, it will shock you. So he has a lot to answer. Is it that we have enough of money that he will just come up and then waste the resources of Nigeria, punish people? People were dying, people were not even going to job, people were not even getting money to buy food to eat with your money. As I speak to you now, there are some transaction I did that up till now I can't account for it.
Okay.
Even in my bank. Okay. So the worst of it is like if my people say, if you catch a thief and the thief is begging you, please take me to this police station, just know that either the DPO or maybe the senior officer there knows him. So if you are telling us to go to court, what about the judges we have? Were they not part of these pains?
It's the judiciary that saved the day for us now. It's the Supreme Court. It's still the Supreme Court decision that bailed us out.
Kennedy.
Can I counter you?
Kennedy, please just be quick. There are some other people who want.
Let me just round up. It was Labour that saved us.
No, it was not Labour.
Let me just stop here.
Okay, Kennedy, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. All right, the lines are still open: 0903-222-9797 or 0818-2222-205. Please call. Let's gauge how you feel, whether you are happy that after people died, businesses were lost, and we paid 3,000 for 10,000 naira. The same old naira note that the CBN told us is not available, have been destroyed, is back in circulation in full force. Look, the way the ATM machine was even counting it like this. Like, look, I'm telling you, Judy, the thing really hurt me. How can CBN be doing this? Where are the new notes that we died for, we suffered for, and we are still here using the same old naira notes? So, Judy, you were saying that we should be. How do we put a case together? Against the CBN or against the president?
I need to play with my brother.
Okay.
This narrative that when a thief is asking you to take him to police station or take him to court, that his brother or somebody he knows is there.
No, he's only expressing
No. We need to change that narrative.
Okay.
Because he believes it's the Nigeria Labour Congress that saved the day. I believe it's the judiciary that saved the day. Even within the APC governors took their own president to court.
That is true.
And the court,
Supreme Court,
yes, and the Supreme Court gave a decision which was the basis upon which Nigeria Labour Congress was now saying, you need to honor this Supreme Court decision, otherwise we will go on strike. Why didn't the Nigeria Labour Congress threaten strike before the Supreme Court decision? So procedurally, it was the Supreme Court that saved the day. They were on the part of the masses. They said what the CBN has done without consultation is wrong, and that the old and the new should circulate up until December 31. That's the way it happened. What Nigerian labor unions just did was to seek for the enforcement of that Supreme Court decision to ensure that the old and the new was made available. Otherwise, they will go on strike and workers will withdraw their services. Procedurally, that's what happened. But mark you, what I'm saying is that yes, accountability is important, but will street protest bring about accountability? Not under this situation that is very tense. We are in the transitional mode, and elements who do not want this democracy to succeed are very many. So you need to be very careful. People who felt that their rights have been trampled upon, that they have a case, they can consult their lawyers, and if their lawyers feel that they have very good case, like those who lost their lives in the course of this whole exercise, they can go to court. Those whose businesses were vandalized and all of that, they can go to court and seek remedy. Otherwise, the alternative is the discussion we are having now, and newspapers, broadcast stations can start, having discussions around it, even inviting CBN officials to come and tell us why is it that there is now more scarcity of the new notes
which we died for,
which should have been available since December. This end of April. What is happening? Let them give us an official explanation whether it will sync well with us. And there are different ways by which you can hold government to account. That's why I'm saying let's take the civil approach. Let's not take the nasty approach. Because
let's still follow the rules.
The rules. Because if we allow the enemies of democracy opportunity to protest over any small thing, it can be hijacked, and then we will have lawlessness on our hands. But I am saying, yes, financial correspondence, or even radio stations like yours, there is CBN is just by your.
Wait.
CBN is just at your backyard there. Write officially to invite the head of corporate affairs. in CBN.
Corporate communication.
Yes, or head of corporate communication to come on your program and say, why is there scarcity of the new naira? Let's have an official explanation. Whether it will be tenable or it will not be tenable, we can listen first to the official explanation. Then we can make that part of the to-do of the incoming president. To say, look, you need to overhaul the CBN. You need to overhaul the Central Bank of Nigeria. This kind of thing should not repeat itself. Recall that Malam Nasser El-Rufai and Malam Umar Ganduje, they said, look, people of their state should continue to spend the whole naira.
Even the governor of Ogun State as well.
Yes, the governor of Lagos State, the governor of Ogun State, even the Akarigbo of Remo in Shagamu, all of them said, look, citizens should continue to spend the old note, and that when Asiwaju comes in, is going to reverse this policy. Now, we can as well say, enough, let's cut our loss, because the last caller, I think Kennedy, alluded to the amount of money that was even spent to carry out this exercise. We need to know, transparency and accountability. Let us have the facts. How much have you spent to print those naira notes? Because it's not the CBN that is printing, it is outsourced to Nigeria Printing and Printing. So, and there are different bodies. So they cannot do, the CBN must have to pay printing and maybe they are even owing. Maybe CBN is even owing printing and meeting. Maybe that's why we don't have enough in circulation. So you can as well have the head of corporate communication of Central Bank of Nigeria on your show, and have, team of experts come to interviewing. Why is there scarcity of this new naira note? Are we mindful of the fact that even with the Supreme Court decision, there is a terminal date for this old naira note, and this thing should have been withdrawn in phases, so that by now we should have had more of new naira than the old naira. But what is happening now is that we are only having the old ones. The new ones are as scarce as masquerades disappeared.
All right, Jide, I'm being signaled that our time has come very gradually to a close here on this issue. There's still so much to talk about, but when it comes to radio, timing is also very, very important. I don't know. So your final advice to Nigerians here, just very quickly in 30 seconds.
My advice is that we should please continue to promote peace. We should be mindful of the very tense environment. Let's follow due process in resolving our issues. I mean, many of us are grieved, and that's why the costs are there. Let's stop this narrative that when you ask somebody to go to court or to police, it's because he knows somebody. That's why there is a high level of lynching now, because self-help. People are lynching. Somebody is trying to steal watermelon. The next thing, you set him ablaze, and this is catching fire across the country because people have been sown that seed of doubt that if they take the person to police, he will be released. If he goes to court, the court will free him. That is not the kind of narrative we should promote.
All right, Jide, I want to thank you so much for being my guest today on the show. Naira policy and the disappearance of the new naira from circulation. Well, tomorrow we'll be back again with another edition of Politics Now. I want to thank you so much for being a part of the show. You made efforts to call, you couldn't get through. Please forgive us. Maybe tomorrow the networks will be better. My name is Ernest. We'll see you tomorrow. You have yourself a wonderful day. Be a good citizen. Don't forget. Bye-bye.